Only a few days ago, when I was thinking of coming here, I remembered something about myself. That long time ago, when we were students in the 50s, there was a book. I can't remember the name of the book because 50s, it's a long time ago. And my memory may not be that good. Now, there was a book, I think it was something about Napoleon's travels or something. Yeah, we used to consult this book for our future. So one day I gathered courage and said, today I have been fearing to consult this book. Let me just try to consult it and see what it says. So we consulted. There was a method you use. You press this here and press that there, and then you open pages, and then the book will tell you, go to page Sibanibani, then you go to that page, and then it tells you something about you. So what this book told me was that I were going to travel to many lands. That was the prophecy of the book. At that time, I didn't understand it. I couldn't understand it at all, so I let it go. But eventually, I could see that what the book had prophesied was true. I managed to travel to many countries. I won't mention them, but there were not many enough to let me be happy of what prophecy the book had said. So then I consulted the Bible. And the Bible tells me in Exodus chapter 20, verse 5, that visiting the iniquity, this is the verse I read, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. Then I said, now this is good. I haven't traveled to all the countries maybe the book had told me to go to, but at least I'm comforted by this verse. Then I converted the verse and said, prophesying to the father that his travels will be visited unto his children, and unto the third, even the fourth generation of his children. And so that comforted me. Now, what has come out is that although I did not travel to many countries, but the Shandomo genes, the blood of Shandomo, have traveled many countries. They have fulfilled the prophecy of the book on my behalf. Where is my platform? Now I'm used to platforms. Now if you go to Zambia, you find Shandomos. You go to South Africa, you find Shandomos. You go to Zimbabwe, you find Shandomos, although they are not physically in Zimbabwe. If you go to China, you find blood of the Shandomos. Now, if you go to Cameroon tomorrow, you will find the blood of the Shandomos. And I shouldn't talk about USA, because here they are also here, the blood of the Shandomos, maybe even more than anywhere else. And I am sure the prophecy of that book will extend this to my grandchildren and to their grandchildren and to their grandchildren, so that eventually the whole world will be full of the Shandomo. This is what the book was saying. No, I took it out. Then I'm sure I'm sure when you saw me coming here, you said, now we shall learn we shall hear something about Malende. But we don't do it that way all the time. It's only now I'm going to come on to Malende. Yeah, just a few things about my daughter Malende. The only thing I would like to read to talk about Malende is the memories that she will leave with me. The memories that she will live with me. Because now she's of the other name. Although I know she's still my daughter, blood-wise, but she is now their physically daughter, physical daughter. What I remain with are memories. Yeah, one of the memories I would like to share with you is that when she was 3 years old, maybe 3 or 4 years old, she got very sick. Yeah. In the midst of her sickness, her mother had to travel. I think it was to West Africa on duty. And she had to travel. I put the word had, meaning that she just had to travel. Sick Malende or no sick Malende, she had to go. So this sick Malende was left under my charge. Then one day, I took her to hospital, and we came back, so we went to sleep. As we slept, I didn't know what was happening to her mind, but I know what was happening to mine. Will this sickness leave her? Now that the mother is not there, what shall happen with the sickness? I'm sure the same thing must have been happening into her mind, because in the midst of the night, she sang a song. And this is the song. Tula, tula, tula sizwe, ungabokala, uJehova wako uzawungqobela. Those who understand this language say, don't cry. Don't be in trouble, because your Jehovah, your God, will conquer for you. That made me weep in my blankets. I've never told anybody this. You are lucky that I tell you now. Malende doesn't know. The mother doesn't know. When she came back from wherever she went, I didn't tell her. That was my secret. Then the other thing, a day came when she had to come to America. She was traveling with her mother, 9-year-old girl, leaving the father behind in Africa, coming to America for a good cause, of course. Then I took them to the airport, and at the airport, as they were going to the flight, I stood by the balcony, watching them go. And then I looked at my little girl walking towards the plane. And something just happened to me, and I wept. I wept. Why did I weep? I don't know. But I wept. And it's only now I realize why I wept. Because she will never come back to Africa to live with me anymore. But I'm not going to weep again. Because she's not coming to Africa to live with me for a good cause. A destiny that God had given her. Like the pastor said today, to join Nigel into matrimony, holy matrimony. And this is the reason. So I'm not going to weep again. I wept, and that was enough. That will remain only as a memory of my daughter. Then the other memory is about her dog. She had a dog. When she was very young, she told me, "Father, please get me a dog." I got her a dog. The name of the dog was Bingo. Then Bingo grew into a very big dog, and they loved each other, Malende and the dog. Yeah. So one time, Bingo disappeared, and it was not nice in that house anymore. Because Malende was very sad, where is Bingo? But one night as we slept, she just stood up, woke up and said, "Bingo has come back." Then I asked her, "But how do you know?" "I heard her bark." I said, "But there are so many dogs barking outside." "I know how Bingo barks." In the morning, Bingo was there in front of the house. But that is not all for Bingo. When she came to America, that time when I wept, she kept on asking me about Bingo. How is Bingo? Yeah, of all things, how is Bingo? Then I kept telling her Bingo is fine, and I fed Bingo to the best because Bingo was her favorite. How is Bingo? And I had to make sure Bingo must live because I have to tell her how Bingo is. Yeah, but unfortunately, one time Bingo died. And she says, "How is Bingo?" I said, "I'm sorry, my daughter, Bingo died." And I had to make a very big report of that death. I said, "But I buried him behind the house under an orange tree, just to make her happy." Because I had really, in fact, when Bingo died, I had to make sure I had to bury Bingo very nicely. Yeah. Now, like I told you, I'm not going to weep, but Malende is gone from me now. She belongs to another family. And to mark that that situation, I would like to her sister, Hachile, to give her something that I used to bring every time I came to visit America. Maybe I'll give her for the last time now because she's in a different situation. Can you please hand over? Yeah. Now that size of the biscuit is double what I used to bring. Because I know there are now two. My relatives in Cameroon, you should be rest assured that I started loving Cameroon long time ago. I did not know why. I did indeed visit Cameroon at one time. First of all, the plane took us to Douala, overnight in a hotel. Then in the morning, we went to Yaoundé, and I stayed in Yaoundé for a week. And came back to Zambia, and from that time, Cameroon has always been in my mind. Now, there are many football teams. My colleague was just talking about Chipolopolo. Chipolopolo is a Zambian team where I originate. Even when they are going to Africa Cup, I don't support Chipolopolo. I support Cameroon. I have teams in every continent. I have a team of favorite team. Favorite team in Africa is Cameroon. Zambia or no Zambia, Cameroon. So they should be rest assured that at least I should assure my daughter that she has not gone astray. She has gone to where her father's heart is. I was taught when I was in school that I should never tell people that now I'm giving the last part. I'm not giving, Because if you give the last part, then a good one comes, you put it, then the last will be last and last and last. So I'm trying now to give you the last. Yeah, the last part I'll try to give you is just to wish them to work very hard as a couple. I'm sure they're in America for a purpose. And one of the purposes here is to be rich. All of you who migrated from Africa to here, nobody can ever refute my statement that to be rich. My son-in-law here, when he came to, this is Minnesota, eh? When he came to Minnesota, he said, I'm going to Minnesota because I want to be rich. I'm sure he's rich already now. Yeah, but what I would like to say, they should work hard and become rich. I really wish them to become rich because the father who is standing here has never known richness. But I would like my daughter and my son-in-law to be rich. But there's something that I would like to say about that richness. It is all vanity. Useless of useless. What I would like to tell them is to visit Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13 to 14. Here it says, let us hear the last conclusion. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. I would like to just give an example of what I've said. There's a story that is told of a group of professors, learned people in various disciplines. Most of these disciplines are called logi, like geology, biology, and climatology. Logi. Now, learned people with their beards, I think. Yeah, so they were traveling to a certain island, and they boarded a small boat. And then there was a young man who was rowing them to that island. Now, as they traveled, or as they sailed, whichever it is, or they boated on the water, they talked about their own knowledge, their disciplines. And this young man was not educated, so he listened very carefully. But he couldn't make it. What is it they're talking about? So he asked the professors, excuse me, what is it you are talking about? Then they tried to explain in very difficult manner, and he couldn't understand. He said, okay, let me just continue with my rowing this boat. So they continued rowing the boat, and eventually, suddenly, there was a storm. And then the boat was tossed from up and down, tossed from side to side, and of course the professors kept quiet because it was not it's not an easy matter anymore. And this young man tried by all means to control the boat, but finally he found he couldn't because the storm was too much. Then he remembered these professors in the boat and he shouted at them. He said, professors, and you all learned people, do you know swimology? Then he had to explain to them, because now we have come to a point where all the knowledge you have is vanity. The only useful thing that you need is how to swim across to the island. Now, what I'm trying to tell my children, these two, Nigel and Malende, is that the swimology in this world is fear God and keep his commandments. That's the only thing that will see us through. All the other things are vanity. May the Lord bless you.
Before you were born, I spoke your life into existence. You will be a rose among thorns.